Hey NorCal, what's up? It's the NorCal Carter's Chick. It is July 29th, 2024, and tonight Josh and I are going to be hosting the show together. We're going to be answering a little bit of questions about ourselves. Wow. And we're going to be talking a little bit about the Colby DuBato Memorial Race, as well as some other events in the area happening in August. So let's get started. It's Ashley, it's Josh, and it is NorCal Mondays. All right. Let's get into it. Let's check out the comments. Hey. Say hi, Josh.
What's up? I hope y'all can hear me. I'm in the back.
All right. So Josh and I are going to start off the night with a little introductions about ourselves. First off, obviously, I'm Ashley. This is Josh. And Josh, what do we do in karting?
Well, I race when I can. I like to race. I drive myself an LO206. Occasionally, I'll get behind the wheel of a KA every once in a while. I do occasionally volunteer at our local clubs. I race direct at CCKRA. I help officiate and just all around, just track helper, flagman, just cart retrieval, and whatever somebody needs. I mean, I'm a mechanic, I'm a driver coach, and just an all-around go-karting lifer.
Yes. All right. And what I do in karting is I do a lot of the promotion here with NorCal Carters. So I go to a lot of the events, I take a lot of videos, and I come back and we talk about it here on NorCal Mondays. I'm really involved in the administrative side of NorCal Karting. I do pretty much all, I can do pretty much all the jobs: registration, scoring, scales, grid, not flagging. I leave that to Phil, but there are some things that I don't do. So, but yes, you'll see me around a lot. We'll talk about what series we're involved in, what clubs we're involved in, where we, first question already, right out the gate. What is our racing background? So we'll get into that. But yes, we sort of, between Josh and I, have the experience, the whole experience of on a karting event. So any questions you have, put them in the chat. Say hi if you're in the chat. We know people are here because we can see who's on. So say hi if you're here. We do have a fun segment we're going to do later with a video that was sent. Josh Extra Cart Parts is complaining that you're blocking his logo.
Oh, too bad, so sad, my friend. Hold on. Sorry. Let me move over. All right, there you go. Is that better, Extra Cart Parts? Wait. There
you go.
What about Rock Sonoma? You guys need some love too? All right.
Laren, Uncle Laren.
Right. Okay, bye. Back, Rock Sonoma.
Bye. Okay, well, Uncle Laren is saying happy anniversary. Yes, it was our anniversary yesterday. Legit. We really are married in real life. Yeah. So
it's true.
It's true. We are married in real life. Our anniversary was yesterday. And people were there. So that's all I have to say. Okay, here we go. Extra Cart Parts. Thank you for putting it in the chat. Okay, we are going to talk about Josh, the early days in karting. So we're going to transition into the early days of karting for Josh and I. That was the first question that was brought up. So here we go. We'll start with Josh. Josh, tell us about your early days in karting.
I started karting in the late 90s and early 2000s in Salinas Valley Karters. It was a little airport in Marina, California. It was later became Monterey Bay Karters. It was a cone track that we used to set up once a month. It was all volunteer ran. It was all volunteer based for the most part, all club workers. And so I grew up racing there in the early 90s and late 2000s, early 2000s, late 90s. And then I transitioned into IKF regional racing in IKF Region 11 at the time, which was all of our NorCal tracks that we race at today. Dixon, Davis, Prairie City, Atwater, rest in peace, Atwater. Stockton, Redding, Reno. We used to go to Medford once a year. We also transitioned a little bit, being that we lived in the South Bay. We raced a little bit in IKF Region 7. We would venture down to Bakersfield and whatnot. Cal Speed when it opened. So I grew up racing Yamahas, and for the most part, that was our big, Briggs back in the day. It was just Yamaha racing. I used to run Yamahas and HPVs, and we used to go to Grand Nationals, and I'd run 3 or 4 classes a day, and we'd go for 4 or 5 days. And I just grew up as, like I said earlier, just an all-around racing junkie. Just never left. I spent more time at the racetrack than I did at home with my friends, and that was it. Made friends at the go-kart track that I still have today.
So tell us a little bit about your first karting experience.
Oh, so my very first go-karting experience, I had probably like this was 98 at the time. This thing had to have been like an 85 Invader. I'll find a picture of it on my Facebook somewhere. But my dad took me to a local parking lot, fired it up with the Yamaha, no restrictor, full KT 100 expansion chamber, and was like, Josh, and I'm terrified. I'm terrified. My dad's just like, you're gonna be fine. Like, you're gonna love it. Like, trust me. As soon as you go, you're gonna love it. I'll never forget. My lip was quivering. Like, I was scared shitless. And my dad fired it up. I decided to hit the throttle. I went about 100 feet down the thing. I spun it out. It died. My dad and my uncle ran over to me and they were like, "Are you all right?" I was like, "Yeah, fire this thing back up. I want to go." They looked at me and they were like, "I thought you were scared of it." And I was like, "Yeah, but now I know what it'll do. Like, let's just go." And from that day on, again, I'm a junkie. That was it. So when I started, I wasn't so good because we're going to transition into my childhood and like how it was when I started and what I struggled with. And I really did struggle as a kid with racecraft. I mean, I will admit.
Challenges in racing.
Yeah, I had challenges in racing for sure. So
that's funny.
I was not the cleanest driver, let's just so say, as a kid growing up. I had to learn racing etiquette and racecraft as a kid. Took a little while. All right, so what's next?
All right, so I'm gonna pick up where he left off. His home track was Salinas. So my home track, the closest track to my grandparents' house, was the original Kerman track. And so that was obviously in Kerman. And that was the original CCKRA, was Kerman Kart Club. So my background in karting, I was a very talented kid kart racer. And I was so talented and we didn't have NorCal Karters back then, that when they threw the green flag, you know how kid karts do the standing starts, I wouldn't stop. So they kind of just threw the green flag as I was on my way, and we just kind of went with it, right? It was always a parade lap for me. I waved as I drove by, and it was the best. But my karting background literally goes back to, oh man, I don't know if you could see it. I'll put it on the web, or I'll put it on NorCal Karters. But I go back to being a baby in karting. So my dad was involved in karting in the 80s. I also have a picture of him somewhere too in my office. But my dad was involved in karting in the 80s. And so then when my dad died, my grandpa kind of just stayed involved in it. And he eventually ended up working with drivers like Bobby Orgel, and other drivers. I can't remember names at the moment. You're right, Andy. This is why there are speechwriters. But my grandpa stayed involved in it and stayed involved with Kerman Kart Club. So eventually, when I turned 5, the natural thing to buy a kid is a go-kart, right? So I got a go-kart for my 5th birthday, and I started racing it. And that was the extent of my racing career. Then it sat in the shed until David came and upheld the family honor, and we had to change the side pods, but the bodywork. But David ended up racing that kid kart, and the rest is history because we all know David. So we'll get a little bit later, we'll get into how Josh and I met. But hello, everyone. Smash the like button, as Jason says, and hit subscribe. And put it in the comments if you have questions for Josh and I. We are going to talk about Colby DuBato. We are going to talk about a video that was sent in, and we're going to talk about lots of things tonight. But put it in the comments, any questions for Josh and I. So let's fast forward. Today, Josh and I were trying to figure it out. We came up with the best we came up with is what was it? 2005.
2005.
2005, we believe.
That's when I met you.
Is when we met in Prairie City. So we met at Prairie City, and Josh was racing. I was there with David. My aunt introduced us, but it happened at Prairie City, and Josh remembers a little bit more detail than I do because I remember a different scenario. But tell everybody where we met, Josh.
Y'all know where electric cart stand parking is? That was the vicinity of where we met. Where Ashley yells electric cart stand parking every day during a Prairie City Club race.
Yes.
That was about where we met. For those of you that used to race Prairie City back in the day, there used to be a Mr. Pickles sandwich shop during the lunch hour, and we used to sit there and wait in line. And I specifically remember waiting in line for my Mr. Pickles. And I met Ashley through her aunt, and then the rest was history. Like I said, we traveled all around, spent more time racing on the weekends with our friends than we did at home or, getting into any other mischief.
Mm-hmm. All right. This is a good question too. How many long-time relationships started at the track? Put it in the comments. Okay, so we met at Prairie City. Obviously crazy now. I work there and other things. Racing. Yeah, Josh is the king there.
Yes, I am. This year I am the king.
King of Prairie City. So there's that. But now everybody's kind of like, okay, you guys met at Prairie City, cool, all cool, but answer the question, how many long-time relationships started at the track? AKA Heelys. Where are you at, Heelys? Let's talk about how we met Donald. So we're going to talk a little bit about how we met Donald coming up next. Mr. Pickles, yes. Okay, so meeting Donald. I'm going to talk about how I met Donald, and then Josh is going to talk about how he met Donald, and then we're going to talk about Team CGK. So, here we go. Meeting Donald. I met Donald, I want to say in 2007. No, 7. It was 7. 2007, because that was the year Georgia was born. And I met Donald because David was racing a Burrell for Cambrian go-karts that Donald had just started, because the original Cambrian go-karts opened in 2007. So that's how I met Donald. And what?
No, go ahead, finish.
What was your
Donald opened in 2003 or 2004.
No, the shop opened in
like 04.
Okay, somebody put it. Andy, I know you're on here somewhere, Andy. What year did the original Cambrian go-kart shop open? Because Donald's off in Paris somewhere, probably still. But fact check.
It was like
Andy.
04 when they opened.
Okay. So anyway, that's how I met Donald. David was the 2007 NorCal Karters Driver of the Year on the Burrell. That's how I met Donald and his family. Enter in Josh.
So I want to say that I met Donald, honestly, before he opened Cambrian Go-Karts and before he was on the Burrell. So I met Donald when he worked at CalKart for Jeff and Cole Nelson on 10th Street at the old CalKart on Monterey in San Jose, California. Because I used to be an Invader kid, born and raised, when I started racing go-karts. So that's when I met Donald, because he worked behind the parts counter. And then I want to say, I I mean, my memory's cloudy a little bit, but I want to say it was sometime in like late 02, when maybe 03, when CalCart finally decided it was going to start closing. And then I think that was when Donald realized that there was a need for the market in go-karting in still the South Bay area, and him and his dad decided they were going to open up Cambrian go-karts, and they opened up in Campbell, I want to say in 2004. I want to say it was
Maybe
2004, but I want to, and then that's when me and my uncle, we kind of transitioned to the European go-karts from the Invaders, and we were buying go-karts from Donald all the time and racing with him. And then shortly after that, sometime around I want to say it was probably like 07 when I started kind of working under the table with Donald on the weekends, being around the track. And then I graduated in 2008. And then it was right after that, we went to Norman, Oklahoma for the Rotax Grand Nationals, because at that point I was a full-time employee of Cambrian Go-Karts. And I remember Don calling me on the way to Norman, Oklahoma, and he was like, "Josh, what's your social security number?" And I'm like, well, "What do you need that for?" "Because I got to fill out our payroll because you're going to Norman." And I was like, "Oh, I guess I'm an employee now." So that's how it started. And then I worked at Cambrian Go-Karts pretty much, I want to say, until 2011. Yeah, 2011, when I took a break and I actually had an opportunity to go, which is our next venture, but I had an opportunity to go work for a race team with Bobby and Lisa Orgel at PR1 Motorsports. And I transitioned and did that, and I was a mechanic and tire guy for them, which was a great opportunity for me. I learned a lot, got to see a lot, experience a lot of things, organization, how race teams are ran. Just, it was just a lot of just everybody has their job, and just attention to details, and how I just transitioned that into just me. And then when I got married in 2012 with Ashley, I decided that the ALMS schedule was a little bit too much for me, that I didn't want to travel that much. And ironic, but quit doing that, and I went back and did go-karts with Donald for a little bit longer, and then here I am.
Hi, Nate. So Josh skipped over a little bit on the show notes, but we're going to go back. So Andy said at least 04. I kind of believe that, because, yeah, the Italy trip was 06. So anyway, my family goes back to
I'm kind of reading the comments.
yeah, me too. Here. So my family goes back with Donald a long time as well. Two things I kind of wanted to talk about. So the roles how we kind of complemented each other at the shop, because I also worked at Cambrian, was I sort of already knew what things were, and I already knew what needed to happen behind the scenes to help the race team while they were gone and on the road. So it kind of just all naturally flowed together. We ended up working with Donald. And yeah, so we have some memorable, we were going to bring up memorable moments. Our friend Jimmy is putting moments in the comments right now, but yes, then Josh went and got married and ended up working for PR1 Motorsports. And around that time is when we got married, and that was 12 years ago. So we're learning we're looking back and realizing that it was a long time, but it didn't feel like a long time. So it really does go by fast.
Every day's an adventure with you, baby.
Oh, go. Okay. So, okay, we were married for so highlights from our wedding. If you were at our wedding, put it in the comments. But our wedding was very eventful. It was and still currently is the busiest weekend of the summer. So we got married July 28th, and there was an event going on at Laguna Seca, the Gilroy Garlic Festival. There was the NHRA drag. The drag races were in Sonoma, so there were no hotels in the area. That was a nightmare. And then what was another highlight from our wedding?
It's on the beach.
Okay. So, but yes, see, only chicks remember that stuff.
Yeah, I know.
I do. It was really just, I was so mad because I was like, oh God, I didn't even think of that. But we got married in Aptos. So it was kind of hard to book anything anyway. But highlights, Matt Dixon was in our wedding. If you race in Sonoma or with Ron, Matt Dixon was in our wedding, and Donald was also in our wedding as well. Fun facts. So, oh, look, see, incoming Heelys. Heelys are also a racing couple as well that we've talked to before. Okay, so we're going to move into a segment we've never done on the show before. And this was submitted to me by my Uncle Frank, as you're going to see. And he wants us to give him a report. What was it? Great report. Hold on, let me see. I'm going to try and...
You got second. Go on. You already know where I'm going with this with Uncle Frank. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. All right. I'm going to bring up the video now. Oh, no. Maybe not. Technical difficulties. Put it in the chat. So, Frank submitted his... Oh, that's why. Frank submitted his video. We're going to play his video. And Josh is going to tell me where to pause. It's going to be fun because, to be honest, we have not watched the video in entirety. So you are going to be getting our genuine reactions to some parts. All right, here we go. Sorry, Jason's not on with us tonight, so I am Jason as well. Let's...
Is it playing now?
Is it? Oh, it's not. Okay, hold on. All right, here we go. Put it in the comments if it's playing or if it's glitching. Because it's playing on our end, but it's glitching on the other. All right. Yeah, see, Jimmy's saying it's lagging. Okay, I'm going to try and get it on the other screen, but let's discuss.
I think he does a great job, like setting up. This is like with, I'm assuming this is with 2 laps to go. This is the last like 2 or 3 laps of the race. And he does a good job setting them up. And I'm going to rewind a little bit, but
it's not going to do it on this one. Where do you want me to go?
46 seconds. Right there. Like 40.
Jason, if you were going to pop in right now would be the moment.
Go. Right here, he does a good job. Awesome. Okay, right here, I think he could have got to the inside of him at the bottom of the snake pit. Like, that's the only critique that I would have here, is you can see what looks like Chris goes up and Frank has a really good run coming down out of the first hairpin. And for me, if I was this close and I had a run like this already, I'm gonna dive to the bottom of the apex at the bottom of the snake pit and try to beat you to the apex. It looks like if you let the video go, he just kind of follows him down into the snake pit, waiting for Chris to make the mistake. And Chris is a fantastic driver. He does a good job and doesn't make mistakes. So for me, if you get an opportunity like this to capitalize at this level and racing, you got to take it. That's the only critique that I would have on the whole video. Other than that, he does a good job, and it's a great race between these guys.
I'm really sad Jason just looking deeper at it. So yeah, what happened was Frank submitted his video and we're gonna go through it. Jason's gonna show me how to do this the correct way. But also this was the Prairie City Night Race. So just a little reminder, the next Prairie City Night Race is going to be in August. And yeah, so that was Frank at the Prairie City Night Race. We are going to have, it was glitching. Okay, Jason's going to show me how to do it the correct way. But yeah.
46 seconds into the video is where I think the critique, where, like I said, is about where I think I would have tried to pass him. 46, 47 seconds. Looked like you had a pretty dang good run, man.
Yeah. So again, the next Prairie City Night Race is going to be August 16th and 17th. It's Friday night practice and qualifying, and then Saturday night racing. Okay, so Friday night practice and qualifying, Saturday night racing. All right, next up, we're going to go back and answer some more questions. We're going to go through the comments, but while I'm going through the comments, we are going to talk about, so what are some key takeaways? Oh, here we go. Josh, most wives come home with pets and they say, oh, can I keep it? Well, your wife came home with a club and said, oh, can I keep it? So how did you feel about that? And how did that sort of come about? So let's talk about how we got involved with CCKRA.
Well, I wanted to. It was our local club when we moved to Fresno, so I enjoyed going and practicing there when I could. And then last season, before we Ashley became involved, I got a call from their former president, an old friend of mine and competitive racer friend of mine, Scott Andreessen, and he was the president at the time. And he asked if I would be interested in coming and helping out with race directing. And I loved it. So I took him up and started race directing last year. And I just kind of fell in love with doing it at the club level, to be honest. Just like really teaching kids the fundamentals so that when they do, a lot of these kids, if they stick with go-karting in time, chances are they're going to run a regional race or they're going to run a national race. That's what everybody aspires to do. That's what everybody sees. So the kids that I know from my home club, I want them to be able to do that and go anywhere and not only be competitive and run to the best of their abilities, but also not make a fool of themselves. I mean, let's just be real. I don't want them to just not know what to do, not understand what the flags, what the concepts are, what the consequences of their actions are. I try to establish that with the kids that I race direct. Is there's a consequence for your action when you're on track. So the sooner that you can realize that and try to maximize it, and you just keep going. I mean, that's the biggest thing. So like I said, I really fell in love with just teaching the young kids at the fundamentals at the club level and just the atmosphere. And then when Ashley became the president, I mean, I was 2 feet in right behind her. So I'm the club president. I'm the club race director. I'm the guy that helps run practice. I'm the on-track corner worker. I'm the guy, ripping kids' pull cords to get them back, putting chains back on during practice. I try to do it all. So I took it on, and I really enjoyed it when she did.
Yeah. So I kind of got involved with it because I sort of wanted something closer to home. And we're also going to talk about the other series that we work with and your experience as a race director. But I wanted something closer to home, and I knew what to do. And when I sort of had that light bulb moment of CCKRA, then it was like, oh, okay, we can do something here. And like Josh was saying, I wanted kids to learn the fundamentals. I wanted kids to go from a local club to a regional race or a national race or anything higher than that and know what to do and not really be stuck. So that's where this whole idea sort of came from. Let's go in a little bit and discuss. So where do Josh and I actually, what series do Josh and I actually work with? So starting off, we do work with Challenge of the Americas with Andy. So Josh is one of the race directors at Challenge of the Americas and assistant race director, Challenge of the Americas. I hope Taylor's on so he can correct me on that. Hey, Taylor. But yeah, so Challenge of the Americas, I scan tires with my friend Megan, and I help out in tech. And it's one of our fun trips and fun races that we get to do in the beginning of the year. And then besides CCKRA, that's pretty much all Josh. All the series Josh works with. Yeah. I work with All-Star Karting, which is Donald's. And then I help out some of the other clubs in the areas with NorCal Carters. So everything here. That's kind of how we are rooted in NorCal. We do have a question. Were you or are you the race director at PKC in Buttonwillow?
I was not. I have not worked for Pro Kart Challenge or that organization. Just haven't never got the opportunity, I guess. So no pro kart races. We were there for I mechanic a lot. You might have seen me there wrenching or something like that, but not as an official, no.
All right, good question. And then one of our challenge cousins, Angel, saying that we do a great job with challenge. Thanks, Angel. Oh, and the man himself, Andy. Happy to have us both. We're definitely proud to work for Andy. So, and excited about next year. Because, I keep trying to move the mouse. As Michael Mitchoff says, Challenge has and always will be an awesome series with amazing staff who truly care about the sport. So, there. Challenge of the Americas 2025. Stay tuned. So next we are going to talk about what's coming up in August. I mentioned a little bit about Prairie City. We're going to talk about the CCKRA Colby DuBato Memorial Race. So we are hosting the first Colby DuBato Memorial Race, first one ever, with the help and support from Robbie DuBato, and he's been definitely motivating me the past couple weeks to get a lot of this stuff off the ground. So thank you to him. But we are doing this to celebrate Colby's birthday. We are going to be having a Colby DuBato Memorial Race in Santa Maria, August 17th and 18th. Right now, we are going to be giving away an entry. Text your friends, whatever you got to do, share this, say it's time. It's time. We're going to be giving away an entry to the Colby DuBato Memorial Race. While we're waiting in the chat, I'll explain a little bit about what we're going to do at the race. Keyword is birthday. Birthday. Put it in the comments. Birthday for a chance to win the Colby DuBato Memorial entry. Birthday. One word. Birthday. Colby DuBato entry. So while we're talking about it, put it in the chat. Birthday. We are doing 20. Let's talk about the prizes for Colby DuBato. We have so the feature classes are going to be the 100cc classes. That does not mean we are not going to have any other classes. This means that these were the classes that were chosen to get the cash prizes this year. Okay, so senior 100cc first place prize is $2,500 cash confirmed.
Cold hard hunnits.
Second place is $1,000 cash.
Even more hunnits.
And third place is going to be a Tri-C Carter's entry and $500 cash.
5 more hunnits.
Put it in the chat. Birthday. So we are partnering with Tri-C on this as well. They threw in an entry, so we're going to be giving that away at the Colby DuBato Memorial Race. Second class is junior 100cc. We are going to be giving away for first place 1 round of Challenge of the Americas 2025 entry. 1 round entry to Challenge 2025. and $500 cash.
500.
Second place is going to get $400 cash. Third place is going to get an all-star karting entry and $250 cash, right? So all-star karting entry, because we are partnering with all-star karting as well, we are bridging NorCal and SoCal together to come celebrate for Colby. We are giving away an all-star karting entry as well. So all those prizes are happening. Put it in the chat. Birthday. We're giving away
Come
an
race,
entry.
guys. It's gonna be
tonight.
It's gonna be a fantastic event in general. There's gonna be lots of track time, lots of good racing. I'm one of the officials. We're gonna have plenty of other officials on track. I'm gonna be the race director, so you can kind of assure that I'm gonna try to keep it as clean as I can and hold everybody, like I said, to a high standard. We're going to give away some money to the winners, and it's going to be a good time. Like I said, come out, come support Colby, come just celebrate his birthday at the go-kart track with us. There's going to be lots of just people on just rallies and people to talk to and friends, and we're going to have a barbecue, all sorts of stuff. So, like I said, come check it out. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit about that. We are partnering with Transitions Mental Health Association. Although we are giving away money, that's not what this event is about. We are going to be spreading mental health resources and awareness. We have somebody coming out. She's going to be giving a presentation. She's going to be giving pamphlets, resources, anything to bring up to start a conversation if somebody needs help with any of that. So if this sounds like something you want to be a part of, join us. Again, cckra.com. We have Colby DuBato tabs. Sorry, I'm plugging in my computer. This is as real as we get here. But that's what's happening with the Colby DuBato race. Let's see. So I only have a few entries on here, but we're going to give it away. Here we go. I'm going to share the screen again. And let's hope we could do this before my battery dies. Putting it up. Oh, all right. Ryan and Kim. Oh, on my end, it says Ryan and Kim Mitchell. Oh, now it says Ryan and Kim Mitchell. Ryan and Kim Mitchell, y'all just want an entry to the Colby DuBato Memorial Race. Go ahead and reach out to me after the show, and we'll get that taken care of. But yes, Colby DuBato was a friend of ours, so that's why we are doing this, and it's a really near and dear project to our hearts. So sorry, we're trying to plug in my computer. Yeah, I am. All right. Yes, Ryan and Kim Mitchell, y'all won the entry.
Oh, nice. Good job, guys. How do you get this thing back on?
Okay, next we have a Northern Nevada Kart Club race, August 24th and 25th. Come on, y'all. NorCal. Reno came to us when we had our races. So let's help them finish out the summer strong. Spud Cup is happening in September.
Ooh, I'll be on the spanners.
And we're bringing NorCal to Spud Cup definitely because Steven Iser won last year. So there's no excuse. NorCal, we're going back. And I believe Blue Max is rescheduling. They rescheduled a race, and now they're going to reschedule it again because it was overlapping on another club. So we will get you info about that. But that's what I have so far for August, Spud Cups in September. As we close out, we wanted to go over, we had a submission for a question. Who is the better driver and who has road rage between Josh and I? So put it in the chat. We know people are here. There are still people on. Put it in the chat. Who do you think has road rage and who do you think is a better driver? Put it in the chat. Who do you think has road rage? Who do you think's the better driver? Oh, look at
Josh is okay.
here.
Josh is bold.
Our little Jimmy over here. Put it in the chat. Who's
Jimmy's
the better
driven
driver?
with me, so he should be exempt.
And who has road rage?
It's not road rage when they're just morons.
Who is the better driver? It was the question. Who's better driver? Who has road rage? Ron Rivas sent the question. But see, look, Nate thinks I have road rage. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Michael says I've personally been ran over by Josh.
Hey. You're lucky I didn't break your ankle before.
Oh my gosh. All right, come on, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Who has road rage and who is a better driver? This is funny.
For who? Michael's just telling everybody how I almost ran his ass over when he was like 8.
All right, put it in the chat. Who do you think's a better driver? And we mean like in cars, like Toyotas, not like go-karts. I don't race go-karts. I count them. So this is like daily driver. Who do you think has road rage and who do you think is the better driver? All right. So we did talk about.
What did he say? What hasn't been
Oh.
Turn it on, baby.
All right. Here we go.
Come on, you want to sit down? No, Dad?
Oh, now Nate's bringing my height into this. Okay, but so we talked about this earlier. Josh actually has road rage worse than I do. I'm just, to be honest, when we drive together, I'm the passenger princess. So I don't really drive with him that much. So Josh has road rage. He honks all the time.
I don't honk all the time.
You do. And then who's the better driver? I'm going to admit, I feel like Josh is a better driver because I drive like I drive a tank. Like, oh, there's a curb going over it. Who cares? Yeah. And then if somebody's going too slow, it's like, okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Okay, no, you're going too slow. It's time to go. So yeah, Josh is both. He's a better driver. And Josh honks his horn more. But yes, you're right. We don't really necessarily have road rage. But all right. Thank you everyone for joining us. We are coming to the end of the show. The next time you'll see us, what's the next race? Oh, it's the Colby DuBato Memorial. And then Spud Cup. So Colby DuBato Spud Cup. We'll see you there. Challenge 2025. Thank you, Andy.
Keep
Thank
an eye
you.
out for that registration link for the Colby DuBato race. There's going to be some t-shirt links coming out real soon. T-shirt links from my guy over here. He's going to be getting some t-shirts out for the Colby DuBato race.
Yes.
So let's get that on board.
But yeah, any questions with us, you could still put them in the comments, but everything we pretty much talked about tonight. Any other comments, go ahead or any other questions, comments, put them in the chat. Thanks for hanging out with us. And like Jason always says, if we all get one person in a karting, we will double by next year. Peace, NorCal.
Bye, guys.